Hey writers, it's Megan Barnhard, and I'm coming at you live from my Facebook page, Megan Barnhard, and you can follow me here at Megan Barnhard Writing. I'm a writing coach for authors, creatives, and entrepreneurs who want to make a big impact and want some help getting those big ideas out of their heads and onto paper so they can share them with the world. And my favorite thing to do is help give writers writing recipes that are customized to what they're trying to write, whether that's a book or a blog post or content for website or anything else. Today I'm going to be chatting about outlining. So if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay and you have a question about outlining, please do jump into the comments of this video and share it, and I will respond to you. I know outlining is not a not a fun sexy concept for most writers. Most of us think of it as this hurdle we have to get through, or maybe you feel like you have to pay your outlining dues before you're allowed to do the fun part, which is writing and being creative and getting into your flow. And I'm going to share with you my number one secret for outlining that makes the process easier and actually just is so, once you hear it, you go, oh, that doesn't even sound like outlining. That doesn't sound terrible at all. Hey, Lloyd, so good to see you. So let me jump right into that number one secret because it's going to take a little bit of explanation. So my number one secret for making outlining easier and then making your drafting more enjoyable is to create a mission statement. Now, this simply means to create a big intention for your writing. What is it that you're trying to get done? And as I said, I'm going to unpack this, but you might already be starting to connect. If you really know the reason, whoops, I knocked my microphone off the table. You just gesture too much when you knock your microphone off. If you know your big purpose and your big why, you can see how that would be really powerful as you're getting into the nitty gritty of writing and doing all of the hard parts of drafting. So a big why, a mission statement, starts with, why are you writing? Why are you feeling called to share your message, whether you're working on a book or a blog post or something for your website or even a story for somebody you know personally? What's your big motivation? And a lot of writers skip this step and just go, well, I'm so excited to write. That excitement will continue. It doesn't usually, especially for longer projects. So when you kind of get into the doldrums of writing and you just don't feel like doing it, or you've got writer's block, or you're stuck, you can look back to that big reason you're writing. Hey, Diane, so glad you're here. And get re-inspired. So in just that simple way, having a mission statement keeps you on track. But a mission statement is also really practical because you can include in it things like the length you're shooting for. How will you know when you're done? How many chapters of your book are you writing? Or what's the length of the blog post that you want to be putting out there? That's a really practical, helpful way to know where you are in the process. And of course, knowing where you are is also really motivating. If you know you're about 3/4 of the way done, you can, pick up that steam you need to get all the way through. Your mission statement should also include your intended audience and how you want to impact them. If you're writing a book, this is so important, right? Because think of the different genres that are out there, and you need to know, are you trying to, write a great thriller that will keep people up late at night checking under the bed? Are you trying to write an epic romance? Are you writing a fantasy? So, knowing your intended audience and how you want to impact them is huge for then doing all the nitty gritty work and decisions in your draft about, well, what should happen next? Well, let me go back to my mission statement. What am I trying to do? So I definitely want to invite you to ask questions if you have them as I'm chatting about mission statement. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail also about how you might create your mission statement and what you might do with it. So please feel free. Oh, hey, Cheryl. Oh, what a treat. Please feel free to, add questions as you have them, but let me get a little bit more into what you can do to create a great mission statement. I always begin with my big reason. because that for me is the most motivating. But if you have a different connection point, start with that. Whatever is your most motivating thing for writing. Now, that might be something personal. It might be something related to marketing. It might be related to a certain audience that you want to reach. So number one, start with that. What's your big why? Then move into the details. What's the length? Who's the intended audience? How do you want to impact them? Then I highly recommend start going through and listing your must-haves for this particular project. What do you have to have? What will you need in order to reach your audience and impact them in the way you want? And also, going back to your big why, what are the things that this project just won't feel complete without? So those might, again, be personal, and some will be practical. Then I like to go through and think of my own pet peeves as a reader. What are the things I want to make sure I avoid because I don't like reading them when other people write them? So if you're writing a novel, maybe it's, cliffhanger endings, or Mary Sue characters. If you're writing content for your business, maybe you really don't like it when things are too stiff and formal and you want it to be fun and casual, and then you're going for that. So think about your must-haves, think about the things you don't want. And then what that's really doing, that sequence, is taking you from big to small, so that you are, starting with the reason you're doing this project overall, and then getting down to some of the specifics. Now, this is, as I said, the first part of outlining, right? And we haven't even gotten to what all the content will be. But when you do this very first part, it's going to be a lot easier to determine all the rest of the content. Should I have my characters do this or that? Go back to your mission statement. Should I end my blog post like this or like that? Go back to your mission statement. So this is a type of outlining you can use for any kind of writing you're doing. And it really makes the difference between getting a great start and lots of momentum and knowing where you're going, or kind of burning out. If you are at a place where you are ready for your mission statement, I actually walk you through all of the steps and show you how to do it, and show you some examples in my new book that is coming out. It's called Recipe for Outlining, a fun and flexible guide for planning your novel. So this one is geared toward those writing novels. And you can find it available for pre-order on Amazon right now. I will share the link, and it's also on my website, meganbarnhard.com/books. And again, it just walks you through that mission statement so that you can, answer the questions one at a time. My goal for helping writers is to give you recipes so that you don't have to hold the entire goal in mind as you're trying to work on it. Instead, you just get to take one piece at a time. So the recipe for the mission statement that you'll find in the book is just one question at a time. You just, okay, let me think about that. Let me do some research. Let me consult with my inner muse and answer the questions one at a time. And then by the end, you have your complete mission statement. So I'm looking to see if there are questions. If you have an outlining question, please don't be shy. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. And if one comes to you later, then by all means, come back, put it in the comments, and I will respond to you. So that's a mission statement. It's my number one secret for outlining in a way that feels that feels easier, that feels more organic, and that gives you that momentum to keep going and finish your piece of writing. It doesn't take very long to come up with. You can write a great mission statement in about half an hour, and it makes a huge difference to being able to get out the piece of writing that you were really hoping for. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, but again, leave me your questions if you have them. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing your questions about outlining and about the writing process so that I can help you tame your writing process and tell your story. Take care, everybody. Bye.